Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of STC BTN. Last Friday, Elkie from Elkie's Bees came to check on our beehive and see how healthy it was going. Let's have a look.
Sort of established here, we worked out the correct siting and location for the bees. And so the specific requirements for these native stingless bees are they need morning sun hitting the hive, and that's really important in winter to warm up the hive, because the brood temperature, does anyone know what brood is? We do get temperatures under 15 degrees overnight, sometimes even during the day. So these little bees have to what we call thermoregulate and started shivering a little bit. Do you think we'd generate a bit of warmth? Yep, that's what these guys do. These little bees do in winter time to stay warm. Male part of the flower, so it's actually the protein, pollen, protein. Yeah? So when we open the hive, I'm going to take it over here in a sec. We'll open it up and you'll see nectar, which is like honey. They've dehydrated it a little bit, added some enzymes from one of their 4 stomachs, and put it into a little pot, which is honey essentially, and they've done the same thing with pollen, that they've collected both of those things from the flowers. There's also a whole lot of quite sort of dark brown stuff in the hive. The dark brown stuff is resin and combination of resin and wax. So the wax they make and they shed it off wax glands on their body. Do we make wax? What about in our ears? Yeah, it's like that, but it's nice wax trees. They'll go and collect that. So that's their building material, and you'll see all of that inside the hive. So you'll see something about the size of a grapefruit, and that is the eggs, the bee eggs. Okay? So
this is the part where Elkie now splits the hive. She had to get some pretty sharp tools because it was stuck very tight. It took a bit of time, but eventually the lid came off, and look at all those bees underneath, flying out. This is after years of the beehive being in our school garden. There was a nice clumps of bee wax, and in the middle you could see the nesting bit. Everyone was really excited to see the inside and couldn't wait to even try it. Here I was lucky enough to get to try some of the honey. The native stingless bees don't produce much honey, but they create a small amount, which I was very fortunate to try. It was surprisingly sweet and tasted very natural. This is the part where Elkie is replacing the top of our old hive onto another bottom of a new hive for someone else. This is the Year 7s trying that beeswax. It tasted pretty good, but surprisingly a bit sour. It was something that we'd never tasted before. Elkie is now readjusting and reassembling our beehive. It took a while for Elkie to reassemble the beehive because we had to make sure it was secure so no predators or small bugs could get in. Elkie is now putting back on the roof and making sure it's pretty secure so the bees have a nice safe home to go back to. The top lid protects the bees from any wind or rain. As you can see, there are many bees swarming around the place where the beehive was originally. This is a sign that the bees are confused and wondering where their home is. Elkie is now taking the beehive back to be placed upon its original place. Elkie has to be careful that she places it in the original spot where the beehive was before she split it. Otherwise, the bees can become confused because if their home is 1 centimetre to the right, 1 centimetre to the left, and not in the exact place where it was, when the bees come back, they are confused and will not be able to get into their home, even if they are right next to the beehive. The bees are now happy that their beehive is being placed back and they'll continue their normal routine.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of STC BTN.